Abigail here with Shine FM Ohio, and we're back with another artist interview. And I am so excited to introduce you guys to Jordan St. Cyr. How are you, Jordan?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, we're excited to get to know you a little bit better. We've been checking out your music here recently, and we're loving what we're hearing.
Right on, right on.
So, how did you get started in music?
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, way back to when I was a kid, there was always music in our living room. My dad was always plunking around on the piano or the guitar, singing like Keith Green songs, back in the day. And I always had this, as a young teenager, I had this heart for worship. I grew up in church and it was a great way for me to learn guitar and sing these simple worship songs. And a youth leader, like most, just said, "Hey, we need somebody to lead our group tonight. Would you be open for that?" And I was terrified because I was really terrible. I was really like I could barely play guitar. I couldn't sing well, but again, this heart for worship kind of led me through that fear, and that's where I kind of started singing, leading, and eventually writing my own songs. We sang those Sunday mornings, and the rest is kind of history. That heart for God and this language He's given us with music is really what got me started.
That's awesome. And so, you have a few songs out right now. You've got a song called Fires, and we've been checking that out. We just watched the video as a staff together not too long ago. Can you tell us a little bit more about that song?
Yeah, the song was inspired by a man who went through some very hard circumstances. He was not much different than myself. He was a husband and a father of three kids, and he was on the verge of losing his house, and why this story inspired me so much is because, a group of believers just surrounded him and said, "We're going to stand up for you. We're going to stand against your circumstances. We're going to raise enough money to save your house and help you pay off some of your other debts." And it just proved God faithful, that God is still working and He's still moving, and He never stopped, and He's always there for us. And that's kind of the story that inspired Fires, but really, I felt like God set me up. He set my wife and I up because 6 months after I wrote that song, our youngest daughter was born, and she was born with a rare brain condition. And God showed us things that we never knew before. We know His faithfulness and His goodness in such a deeper way now because of the trial, because of the fire we walked through.
Absolutely. Um, yeah, when you walk through hard times, it really draws you closer to Christ
Yeah,
in those
yeah.
moments. So just listening to the words of Fires, it resonated really well with me. Just how you know God is still there. So you also recently released an EP called "Be My Defender."
That's right.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like Fires was the first song in a series of songs that God was really putting on my heart to share. Be My Defender was the second song we released, and I just remember sitting in the hospital. We had been given this news, and there was nothing I could do, no amount of money, no relationship that could change this situation. And so that really just, there was a fear in my heart as a husband and a father, as the provider, the guy that's supposed to have the solutions. I had nothing. And I looked at the future, and I couldn't figure it out, and there were so many negative implications of this condition with my daughter, and what is her life going to look like? What's our family going to look like? And I cried out to God, and I needed Him to stand kind of in between myself and my thoughts, to defend me from them. And He did. He is the great defender in our lives, and He's like, "Jordan, chill out. This is my battle to fight." And that's what that song is all about.
Yeah, that's really good. And so, what do you hope people take away from your songs the most? If they only take away one thing, what would it be?
Honestly, there's this nearness and closeness I feel that God wants to impress upon people's hearts. He's like, if you feel you're close to God, well, He is so much closer than you even think. And if you feel you are far to God, far away from God, he is just knocking on the door, constantly championing you in your life. And he cares so deeply about all the little things. And if he cares about the little things, he's going to care for the big things. Nothing compares to his proximity to us. Nothing can remove him from being ever, all present. He is our ever present help. So that's what I hope.
Yeah. So what's next for you in the music world? Are you working on any projects? What's exciting?
Yeah, I'm excited to get back out and playing shows. We've got some shows lined up for the summer, some festivals. Hope to be on the road this fall. Currently, I am in my own home studio recording demo vocals for a new album. So the new album should be out in the fall, and that I'm really excited about. We've got some great new songs. Once Fires kind of dies down at radio, we're going to have a new single, but it just keeps on kind of climbing, which is so weird because it will be a year old next month. And it's still kind of making waves. So we're going to ride that for as long as we can. And then I'm excited to put out a new single, maybe early summer.
Excellent. That's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. All right. Well, let's let people get to know you aside from your music a little bit. What does a day in the life look like for Jordan?
Yeah, I mean, I'm married. We've been married for 13 years to my amazing wife, Heather. We've got 4 kids. So our boys are 10 and 9, and our girls are 6 and 2. And life is crazy. A day in the life of Jordan is crazy. But you know what? We love it. We never thought we'd have 4 kids, but I feel like they are continually showing us the way. The path isn't easy with kids, but you get so much out of it. And they are continually drawing you to the present moment, right? And I feel like God has created us for now. And, he says tomorrow isn't promised. And kids are the great reminder of that truth, to live for now, because they're always like, Dad, can you do this? Dad, can you do this? Can we do this? I want a treat. I want this. And it's a really cool thing, how God uses kids to kind of show us the way.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you ever find your kids trying to sing along with you or pretending like they're playing music or anything like that?
Absolutely. We've got a piano in the living room. The boys are often plunking away, kind of creating their own little songs. But my 2-year-old now I will sing like the chorus to Fires, and I'll say like, "You've walked me through," and then she'll be like, "Fires," and I'm like, it's the most beautiful thing to
Oh,
see. Not only your own kids sing this, but to know that this song is so woven into the fabric of her story, and she's kind of like praising this. These words are kind of woven into the fabric of our story, of her story, and she's kind of praising them back to God. These words that God has given me as a dad, and now to see my little girls kind of sing them, it's like, wow, kind of a
yeah,
full circle moment.
that's so precious.
So cool.
Yeah. So did I see that you live in Canada?
I do. I
Okay.
think I'm about 16 hours north of you guys. So,
Okay, wow.
yeah, pretty
How's it
crazy.
like up there in Canada right now?
I think, you know what? We're getting out of. Did you guys get hit by that like polar vortex, like super cold?
A few weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty dire here. Like it was cold, but I think we're kind of like mid 30s now, and so we're
Okay.
climbing out of it. Mid 30s is good for us.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah, we got hit by a pretty good snowstorm and ice storm a few weeks
yeah.
ago, and it's warming up here now.
Yeah, our snow is almost gone, which is so exciting. We just need to be outside, hang out.
Yeah,
It's good for the soul.
yeah. Now, do you do all your recording there, or do you have plans of coming to Nashville or anything like that?
I've been coming to Nashville for probably the last 6 years. So my whole team is there, and I write and record there. I'll do as much as I can in my home studio, but that's more like in preparation to do the heavy lifting down south. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
very cool. Well, I know for sure we are really hoping to bring you to town someday for a
Amazing.
show. Yeah, we're
I
so
would love
excited.
that.
Yeah,
I, It's one of my favorite things. Like I feel like I love this. I love the kind of talking one to one, and I always kind of like in music. It's just the car that God gave me to get to the people. So I love playing and singing and being on stage. That's great, but I love hearing people's stories, chatting at the merch table, praying with people. I think that's kind of where the rubber meets the road, and that connection with people that God so desires us to have.
Yeah. What is one of your favorite stories that a fan has come up and told you?
Oh my goodness. You know, I think music is an interesting thing, especially being an artist. I think people feel like they are able to share their deepest desires or their deepest circumstances, stuff that they're going through. So I don't know that I have a particular story. There have been so many that have come out of this song, Fires. But I love this idea that it's given people the authority to testify, right? To testify not only of the stuff that they're going through, which I think is healthy, to just name it and just put it out there, but to all that God is faithful in it. And I think that's been really neat to see, is that it's very easy to become a victim to our circumstance. But I think what I'm seeing is that people are like, no, I'm standing on the truth. And I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so great. Well, it has been awesome talking with you, and I'm so excited for people to get to know you better and hopefully bring you in sometime. So for the meantime, how can people get connected with you on social media? What's your website? Things like that.
Yeah. Okay. So Instagram, check me out at Jordan St. Cyr, JordanStCyr. All these new songs have a video component to them you can check out on YouTube. I would love for you to, share those with somebody who needs to hear that message that God is close, God is near, always fighting for you.
Awesome.